Viewer beware, you're in for a scare.
Man, oh man, watching that introduction just gets you in the feeling for Halloween. Like, it just, that spooky score, like, it is the perfect children's Halloween score to get you in that mood. Goosebumps, yes, today we are talking about the original TV series of Goosebumps. And morely, I'm just gonna talk about how this show affected me, talk about just a few episodes that scared me as a kid. But Goosebumps, let's just talk about this, guys. This is gonna be one of my different kind of reviews. I'm not even gonna grade this show. I just want to talk to you guys about this show because all month long I've been reviewing Halloween movies and I've been having a blast doing it. And I always knew on Halloween night or Halloween day I was gonna review this show because this show is so important to me as a kid. Because as a kid, I was always loving / terrified of Halloween movies and shows and all that kind of stuff. But I was always very much intrigued. I always loved Halloween. I love scary stuff. And obviously I'm older now and I love horror movies. Horror movies are honestly the best genre right now. They are amazing films coming out. So the franchise, the books, the series that started it all for me, the reason why I'm like this today, it is Goosebumps. So the book series was written by R.l Stein. He made a ton of these books. These are books that I actually grew up reading. I collected a bunch of them and they're probably somewhere in my attic. I just couldn't find them, which unfortunately sucks. But as a kid, every time we went to the library, because in elementary school you went with your teachers and like, hey, you gotta pick out one book to read to bring home, that kind of stuff. I would always pick a Goosebump book. Or I'd pick a Magic Treehouse book. But I usually pick Goosebumps. And these books actually deep down taught me how to read because when I was little, I did have struggle reading. That was like my biggest thing when I was little. I struggled reading. I did most things. I suck at math, but reading, I just struggled at. But these books helped me because these are the books I would read. These are the books my mom and my teachers would be like helping me read through because these are the books I chose in the library. So deep down, these books meant a ton to me. These books really helped me growing up. So then obviously, in the mid-90s, when the show was released, even though I didn't watch it till 2007 and like 2010, right in that time span, because Cartoon Network released the show all month long in October. During Halloween season, Cartoon Network would show the episodes at night every day. And on Halloween day, they would show it all day long. And I fell in love with this show. I was literally watching the show on Cartoon Network all Halloween day when I was little. I even left trick-or-treating early to get home late at night to watch Goosebump episodes. So this show really did mean a lot to me. I mean, yes, the books meant more because it kind of helped me read and understand story points. It helped me understand that you can put characters young, older into certain situations. You can beat certain evil entities, and sometimes the entities might win. That's what this show really affected me as a kid, because as a kid, it kind of bothered me, but I liked it how in some episodes, characters wouldn't survive. What I mean by that, they wouldn't win. Usually every episode ended in kind of like a way where, yeah, they might have figured out how to beat a certain villain or whatever, but something out there is still evil and it's something still affecting them. Or obviously there's a humongous twist and our main heroes are usually the bad guys. And that stuff, as a kid, it made me feel creeped out. Like I was like, oh no, like these little kids and teenagers, little boys and girls, they're getting eaten by dogs or blobs and getting these masks stuck on their faces and there's werewolves in the swamp. I mean, it literally affected me as a kid because I wanted like the good guys to win. And this show, as a kid's show, would pull punches, be like, hey, these kids, they're aliens. Or hey, these kids, they aren't the good guys. I love that stuff as a kid, even though it scared me. So you can actually go onto Netflix and watch the complete series, but knowing Netflix, one day they're probably gonna take off the damn show. So I went ahead and bought the complete series on Blu-ray. I actually bought this like a month or two ago, and I've been watching this and on Netflix at nighttime, watching it the entire month leading up to now because I knew I was gonna make this video. Like I said, this show, as a kid, I would watch all month long in October on Cartoon Network. So it kind of made me feel like a kid again, watching this show all month long late at night, because that's what I used to do as a kid. So the past few weeks, I actually have been looking at people's list and rankings of like all the episodes and which episodes scared them most as a kid, and I obviously wanted to talk about that because we all have different opinions, which episodes affected us the most and stuff. A lot of people really said Are You Afraid of the Dark series scared them the most, more than Goosebumps. Goosebumps wasn't scary, it's just entertaining scares, basically. As a kid, I never got into Are You Afraid of the Dark. Obviously, I was growing up, I watched certain episodes, and I was like, okay, I get why. But I was never into that show. Goosebumps was the show because I read the books, and I like the author, so I was like, I love the show, I read that book, and now I'm watching on TV. And one little 2-part episode that definitely got under my skin, and watching it last week, I can say it was actually pretty unsettling, scary episodes. The episode is the Werewolf of Fever Swamp. Honestly, the capital reason of why these two-part episodes is honestly scary or unsettling, it does a great job with its Fever Swamp setting. It feels misty, it feels dark, and when the werewolf attacks, it's kind of scary, honestly. As a kid, it scared me. Like, the werewolf attacks at the very end of part 2. He's trying to save his family when they're stuck in the barn, and the werewolf's crawling over the barn, attacking it. Like, as a kid, it kind of fucked me up just a little bit. Another episode that really reminded me of the swampy, kind of ghostly feel was the episode You Can't Scare Me, which featured this little girl who was basically not afraid of anything, and these two boys would always try to like prank her. And then there was this myth of this swamp monster in this lake, whatever, in this misty area. Now, the episode itself is kind of cheesy, but all the scenes of this monster in this swamp and how it rises up and screams, whatever, and how it chases them around, the frame rate goes a lot slower, fucked me up as a kid. Like, I have a creek in my backyard, and it has like a little swampy little like area of like water and stuff, and if it gets like in the early mornings, misty air or whatever, it looks just like this episode. And as a kid, it fucked me up, because I was like, there's a monster out there, and he's waiting for me, and I don't want to throw my ball over there and land in the water and get eaten by this freaking monster. This episode, it freaked me out, and I growing up, it stuck in my head, because every time I see swamp areas, I think of freaking Goosebumps. I think of that monster rising up screaming and chasing after me in different frame rate. There's honestly a ton of episodes. I'll go through a bunch of them that I can honestly remember. And again, these are a lot of spoilers. I don't remember all the titles. I only looked up a few of them because I knew I was going to talk about a few. But in my head, I can remember a certain episode where people are like, their eyeballs in the back of their heads, and like this kid is invisible. The entire time you think the guys that are invisible, the kid that's invisible is the bad guy. Turns out the people that are normal are aliens, and the kid that's invisible is in danger. And at the very end, the bad guys win. Again, that kind of stuff made me freak out, because like, the main hero or the good guy didn't win. Another episode that made me a little freaked out about that is when this girl is trying to tease her little brother about monsters. She goes to the library, and oh yeah, the librarian, he's got freaking eyeballs popping out of his skull. He eats like crickets and shit, and then guess what? The vampire mom and dad are just evil, and they eat him. She brings him to dinner, and they eat him. And then they like threaten the friend kid. He's like, oh, we just ate dinner, and what's for dessert? You. Ha 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 ha. Wink wink, we're gonna eat the freaking kid. One episode in particular that made me want to be a certain character is the episode where these kids go to camp. I don't remember the episode's name. I just know it was a 2-parter, and basically this main kid goes to camp, and this camp is just basically evil. Like, people are getting hurt, and then the next day they're gone, and the whole time it's like a prank, or not, it's like a prank, it's like a whole testing subject, and this kid is getting tested to see if he's available to pass to go to Earth. Yeah, this entire camp and whole world that we're in, they're all freaking aliens, and guess what? He's going to Earth now. See, that kind of stuff made me feel icky, because I was like watching these guys as a kid, and I was like, yay, go humans, go good guys. and then it turns out they're evil and it's like an evil plan. It made me feel icky and scared as a kid. Watching it now, it's completely cheesy and it's obviously awful dialogue and pretty bad acting from most children's performances in the series. Except we do get a great Ryan Gosling episode. He's like in the episode where they take pictures, and you take a picture, you die basically. But it was good seeing a little young Ryan Gosling, him in his Canadian accent. So sorry. Now 100%, the episode I agree with that everyone says was the scariest, and it honestly, I agree with them. As a kid, it's the episode that just definitely freaked me out. It is the Haunted Mask episode. The first one and the second one, but morely the first one, because it's like this little girl who wants to finally get revenge on these boys, so she gets this scary mask from this weird old dude, and turns out the mask is like real life monster skin. She puts it on, stuck on her face, and I appreciate watching it now because they're using actual makeup effects and it's practical and stuff, except when the freaking CGI heads are flying around and they have scary voices. I was like, oh, that's what scared me. The freaking, we want the mask back. I'm like, oh no. So yeah, that's stuff that freaked me out, and her creepy face. As a kid, I'm claustrophobic, so putting on that mask and being stuck in a mask and that's turning into your face, that's freaky, and as a kid, it freaked me out. So yes, the freaking Haunted Mask episodes for sure scared me as a kid watching Goosebumps. So now with all that said, we are now done with October. It is the end of my scary movie reviews. Guys, this has been so much fun. Like, honestly, I've had a ton of fun watching scary movies all month long. I do apologize for not as many videos as I wanted to. Life happens, is all I can say. But now with this being over, do expect a lot of new movies that I did not review all month long because there have been new movies in October. So for the next week or so, and starting with November, I will be reviewing a bunch of movies that came out a few weeks ago or now. I have a lot to catch up on, but thank you guys for this month long. I've had a ton of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this Goosebumps review. I hope you guys enjoyed all my reviews. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a great and safe Halloween night. Goodbye, everyone.